Hi everyone, I'm Sara Raymond with the Mindful Movement. Thanks for joining me today. I have a very gentle, relaxing stretching sequence for you with a little bit of restorative work at the end. For today's practice, you'll need a bolster and 2 blocks. If you don't have them, you can check out our link in the description. We're using Hugger Mugger products today, they're excellent. Or you could always roll up a towel or a blanket. Get in something comfy and come join me. So for today's practice, we're going to start in a reclined heart opener. So the way I have the prop set up today, we're going to put 1 block and then lay the bolster, or if you have a blanket, lengthwise on top of the block. And then you'll come to seated just in front of the bolster or the blanket and then lay yourself down. So the hips are on the ground and you'll find a comfortable place. So we'll start very relaxed here, closing your eyes. Let the arms rest to your sides with the palms open. Allow the legs to simply fall out to the sides. And then begin to bring your attention to your breath. Noticing its natural rhythm and flow. As you begin the process of turning inward, this relaxed awareness. You can start noticing the sensations in your body. Perhaps inviting a bit of softening. Scanning your body for any areas of tightness or tension that you could possibly let go just a bit more. Perhaps you feel a sense of lightening throughout your body. Or maybe you feel heavy sinking down into the surface below you. Whatever you're feeling is just right. Simply observe. And we'll stay here for the next few moments in stillness. Allowing gravity to start the process of opening the heart. Now, to continue that relaxation process, we'll take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth like a sigh. Breathing in and letting it all out. And 2 more, breathing in. One last breath to signify the start of the practice. And then gently blinking your eyes open. And we'll take a moment to bend the knees and just gradually roll to the side of the bolster. Just staying there for a moment, regroup before we move on. We'll press ourselves up and just gently move the props out of the way for later. And we'll lay on our back. Just take a moment to slowly hug the knees into the chest. You can rock side to side. And then begin to take the movements into a circle, letting the hips rock and roll beneath you. If that feels okay for your back. And then going the other direction, supporting the weight of the leg so that we can allow the back to shift and rock and loosen. And then when you come back to center, we'll go around in circles apart from one another. So the knees will separate, and then they lower, and they come back together and into your chest. So now they're more of a mirror image circle, taking that loosening into the hips. Then we'll reverse the direction. Just beginning that loosening process. And then when you come back to center, we'll hold the right knee into the chest and stretch the left leg out. You can flex the ankle. So as you pull the knee in, you're reaching out through the left heel. Coming back to that deep breath in and out through the nose. And then we'll take this into a very gentle twist. You can hold the right knee with the left hand, the right knee, right arm can go out to the side as we twist to the left. And just holding there, breathing deeply into the side body. And we'll take it back to center and switch sides. Extending the right leg, hugging the left knee into the chest. So again, separating the legs, reaching long through that right heel. Feeling as if you're pulling the left knee down towards the back of the body. And then taking it over into a twist. If your neck feels okay with it, you can turn and look over your left shoulder. We'll take one more deep breath there. And then carefully bringing the leg back to center. So we're going to cross now the right thigh over the left thigh. And then we'll pull in to the chest. So either holding at the knees, or if you can reach the shins or the ankles. So the knees are pulling in. And if you do end up grabbing as far down as the ankles, you can think about pulling the feet away from the center. So they're separating apart from each other. And you're relaxing your shoulders down onto the mat, reaching the tailbone down towards the floor to lengthen the back of the body. Always coming back to your breath brings you back to the present moment, back to that awareness of the sensations in your body. And then we'll release the legs down and switch sides. So now the left thigh crosses over the right, and you'll pull in. So again, either holding knees or shins or ankles, and then perhaps separating the feet away from one another. So anytime you'd like to close your eyes, turn your attention inward, continue the relaxation process. And then gently lowering the legs down. You can uncross the legs, separate the feet, and just start to sway the knees side to side a bit. Nice and easy. And then we'll go into the happy baby pose. So starting to pull the knees in toward your chest and then outward toward your shoulders. You're gonna reach for either the shins or the sides of the feet, or if you like to clasp the big toes, you can grab there. And then we're gonna begin to stack the feet up over the knees. So it's still a nice wide leg position. You'll separate the knees and then think of gently pulling down and then perhaps allowing the tailbone to reach towards the floor just a little bit more. Maybe going back to your sigh breath to feel that sense of sinking, letting gravity take hold. And if you feel like it's calling to you, can rock side to side. And taking your time, we'll settle back into the middle and then releasing the legs, bring the feet down to the mat. And we'll take a reclined butterfly pose. So the soles of the feet come together, the knees fall apart. And here's an opportunity for blocks. If you feel any discomfort in your hip joints, just feels like you're working too hard here, you can place the blocks under the legs for a little bit of support. We'll just hold here for a couple breaths. We'll take one more deep breath here. And then removing any props that you have. Bring the feet as wide as the mat or slightly wider. You can always adjust your stance as we move into the stretch. So we're going to allow the right knee to drop in towards the center. The hip will lift a little, but we're not encouraging it to twist. So we're letting the thigh internally rotate. Letting gravity assist us here. As you breathe, relax into that stretch. And then we'll switch to the other side. Lifting the right knee up, allowing the left knee to fall inward. So again, a little bit of lift is okay, not a big twist of the hips. Taking one more deep breath here. And then releasing there. We'll roll to the side and make our way up to seated for a few stretches here. So once you come to seated, you'll extend the left leg out long, and we're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh. So you can flex the ankle. And we'll either sit up tall here, or if you want a little more, you can lean forward. You can round the upper back over the leg. And you'll come back up. And then we'll switch sides. So extending the right leg out. Crossing the left ankle over. So flexing the ankle, so we're protecting the knees. We'll lift up and then hinge forward. And you go as far as you're comfortable. Again, coming back to the breath. Breathing in to facilitate that relaxation process. And coming up, we're going to go into another butterfly posture. So the soles of the feet will come together. And you'll bring your heels close to your pelvis. And you have a couple options here. You can hold the feet and fold over the legs, allowing the knees to fall open. Or if it's more comfortable, you can take your hands behind you to help lift up through the posture. And think of lengthening the spine and opening the knees. So whatever feels best for your body today. You also have the option of sitting up on a block if you feel like this is uncomfortable for your hips or your low back. I always invite you to explore the postures for your body and see what feels best for you. Good. Okay, and then we're going to just very carefully make our way onto our belly. So when you come down onto your belly, you'll put your elbows under your shoulders to lift your chest up. And then we'll start to just elongate the spine. And if this doesn't feel good, you can always go a little wider so you feel like your chest is lower, not bending through the back quite as much. So finding a posture that feels good, that you can hold and breathe into. And then from there, you can gently bend the knees and sway from side to side. Allow the hips to go with the legs. And then we'll come back to center with the legs, lower them down. And then we'll just rotate through the shoulders a little bit. So you're turning and looking over your shoulder. Perhaps you see your feet behind you. And just be easy with the movement. And then we'll come back to center. And we're just going to stack up our hands and rest our forehead. We'll take a couple belly breaths here. So you're breathing deep into the belly, feeling the low back expand. Taking one more breath here. We're going to begin to move into some of our more supported poses, a little bit longer holds. So these are where the props are nice to support you. So the first one we'll go into is a supported twist. So you have a couple options. You can have the bolster right by your hip and the legs out to the side. So this one will be a little more active, a little more vigorous of a twist. So you'll take your hands, one on each side of the bolster, and you'll start to turn so that your chest is lined up with the bolster as you lay down. And then you can take your arms out to a goalpost position. And then if you turn your head and lay so that your eyes are going in the same direction as your legs, it'll be a little less intense of a twist. And maybe you stay there for a few moments. And then as you start to relax into it, you can turn and look the other direction. If that's feeling like it's too deep of a twist, you want to relax a little more, you can take a block, just like we started, and put it under the one end of the bolster. And then you just lay down, and the same idea with the eyes. You can close your eyes, or you can turn around. We'll just stay here for a few breaths. As you rest into the posture, sense if there's anywhere you could soften just a little bit more. Take one more breath here. And then we'll come up. So you can simply turn to face the other direction, or you can take the bolster to the other side. So getting yourself situated next to the bolster, start to turn, and then gradually laying the chest down. And what you might experience is after a few moments, a few deep breaths, you could perhaps go a little deeper into your twist. One of our goals in these restorative poses is to allow the body to be fully supported. So finding a position that you don't feel like you have to hold your posture. You can simply relax. And we'll take another 2 or 3 deep breaths here. And taking your time, when you're ready, carefully lift ourselves out of that posture. And we're going to come into a supported child's pose. So we'll come onto our knees. Can remove the block, and we'll bring the bolster right between the thighs. If you feel like you need a little support for your knees, you might roll up a towel or a blanket and put it beneath your thighs. And we're just going to allow our chest to lie down here. And again, if you need a little more support, the block under the bolster is always a nice idea. So once you lay down, you can turn and look to one direction. And we'll stay there for about half the time and change our posture halfway through. So coming back to our breath as our anchor to the present moment. Perhaps noticing your mind start to quiet. Or if you're still feeling like thoughts are coming rapidly, see those thoughts almost like a cloud drifting by, so that you're not following your thought into a story or a to-do list. You just allow it to pass by. We'll turn our head and face the other direction for a few breaths. Taking 2 more deep breaths here, feeling that relaxation process deepen. Carefully making your way up when you're ready. And we're going to finish the practice where we started, in our heart-opening posture. So we'll take our setup again, block, and then the bolster. And then sitting right in front of the bolster. And then laying back. If you're feeling like you're open and you want to work to release the hips a little more, you can take the butterfly posture also. So choosing a position that feels good in your body. Feels like you don't have to work very hard to be in this pose. Settling in to this final relaxation posture. We'll take a brief scan of the body. And as you see each part of your body in your mind's eye, allow it to let go, to relax, to soften just a little more. Starting from the top of the head, softening the forehead and the tiny muscles around your eyes, unclenching the jaw, allowing the neck and shoulders to melt downward. Feeling as the heart is both opening and relaxing. Allowing the abdomen to let go of any residual tension. Your hips and thighs sink down. Moving that relaxation downward, the knees, the calves, the ankles release. And finally, the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet and your toes all let go to find stillness and peace for the next few moments. Slowly begin to bring some soft movements to your fingers and toes. Bring your awareness back to your surroundings. And when you're ready, take your time and roll onto your side. And you can stay here for as long as you need. And when you're ready, we'll come up to seated. So closing your eyes once more, joining your hands together, lightly resting on your heart. Take a moment to feel once more the sensation of peace within you that you've spent time cultivating today. Know that that sense of peace is already within you, and you have access to it at any time you need it. Breathe in that peace and calm. Thank you for joining me today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much.